like, despite all these challenges and physical challenges and, you know, like, I got the surgery, I have the pacemaker, but there's something that I have to do mentally, daily, literally
Mm-hmm.
daily, to not go down like a negative spiral. And that
Mm-hmm.
thing is practicing gratitude literally with every breath, whether it's a good day or a bad day, whether I'm making money in the business or I'm just spending money, whether I get that little ding from my inbox with Wix, like, oh, you got an order, or if I
Mm-hmm.
don't get anything in my inbox for like a week and I'm like, no one's buying anything, you know, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, I'm grateful because I know I'm living in my purpose. I know I'm spreading positivity and that's what it's all about for me.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Doc? Welcome to the Docs Get Money podcast. Are you a badass doctor killing it professionally and has bigger dreams than just clocking in and out of the hospital? Do you want to leave behind a legacy that is as lit as an HBCU homecoming? Want to know how other doctors are getting to the big bag? That's right, making 5, 6, and 7 figures without putting on the white coat? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Kimberly, but you can call me Kim or KB. I went from being a burnt out and overwhelmed emergency physician to the founder and CEO of 2 6-figure non-clinical companies and beating burnout along the way. I'm also your business coach, here to help you make money moves to change the world. This podcast isn't just about making money, though. It's about leveling up your life, mindset, and bank account so you can build an empire that's as iconic as Beyonce. You ready? Let's get into it. What's up, Doc? Welcome back to another episode of the Docs Get Money podcast. I'm talking a little bit low because Princess Emerald is taking her nap today. But I wanted to give you an introduction to the guest that I have today. Dr. Adeola Abisogun is my guest today. She is a dentist and she earned her Doctor of Dental Surgery from Columbia University in 2013. And she's really into not just patient care, but it's really about nutrition, self-care, and aesthetics. She started her blog, Told You, and it's what she describes as a lifestyle medicine inspired digital vision board. 6 years later, she has transformed her creative outlet into a business that empowers others to live well physically, mentally, and financially. We had an amazing conversation, and here's what you're going to get out of it today. You are going to understand her secret sauce to going from something that is free to actually monetizing it, because a lot of us start things off just for free and we start to have a little bit of awkwardness when it comes around making money. She tells you how she gets through that. She's also going to share with you the life-changing experience that she had back in 2023 when she had a health event and how that really shaped her entrepreneurial journey from there. Almost how to eat negativity. This is something that could have killed her, unfortunately, but thankfully she has been able to survive and thrive in her businesses and her life through this. And so you'll learn her secrets and tips of the trade from that as well too. And she'll also give some advice if you are, of course, starting your own business, starting your own side hustle, and kind of need some advice to go about that. She definitely will give you some amazing advice about that. If you want to connect more with her, all of her contact information is going to be in the show notes. But I am so glad that this episode was able to drop today. And it was a fantastic conversation with a dentist, which I don't get too many dentists on this podcast. So super excited to talk to her. Hope to see you in another episode of the Docs Get Money podcast. But for now, enjoy our conversation with Dr. Adeola. You look great. About to say, you look great. I
You
look a
look
hot
great.
mess. Thanks. About to say, this
No,
thing on
I
my
love
head,
the
I
head
look a
wrap. I love your head wrap. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. But like I said, that's the magic of really what I want to talk about is like, I feel like so many other doctors that I've spoken to maybe feel like that's all that they are now, that they've gone through, years of getting to whatever title that we have. And now it's just like, okay, now what? But it's just like you feel like you're pigeonholed into one skill set. So I love the fact that you have a potpourri of things that you do.
I
And
love it,
I
a
would love to
potpourri.
understand. Yeah, I would love to understand more about your journey mentally. Not necessarily, of course, you can talk about the successes that you've had. Please do. Please brag on yourself. Please let me know if there's any offers that you have that the audience can take a part of. Promote the fuck out of yourself, please. But
Will
at the
do.
same time, I want to make sure that I get into the mindset of like how to get to the entrepreneurial level that you are now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does. Because most of my challenge has been my mindset. And I was doing the same thing for a long time. I was practicing the same way for about 10 years. I was happy. It was fine. I love being a dentist. I love making people smile, helping people be healthy. But even since before graduating from dental school, I didn't truly feel healthy myself. Even though I looked healthy, objectively, everything was fine. I'd get my checkups, everything was always fine. But there was that slow creep to burnout that everybody talks about.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
my burnout turned out to be, my burnout turned out to be physiological. Like there was a real reason for it. And in 2023, I had to have an emergency surgery to correct an arrhythmia problem that I was having that turned into an emergency. I had sick sinus syndrome and I had to have a pacemaker implanted and I had to have my arm immobilized for a period of time. And, even though physically the healing from that kind of procedure, it doesn't take forever, but mentally I was struggling for quite a while. I really
I
had to find some strength to be able to say, okay, it was right before my 35th birthday. I got out of the hospital like the day before my birthday. So me and my family had this little birthday party and I had my arm in my little sling and I was like,
wow.
well, I'm going to find the gratitude in this moment and figure out how to go back to what I was doing, but I couldn't go back to anything the same way after that. I was completely different after that.
100%. Why don't you take me there? Start me there. So you said you went to dental school. Everything was copacetic. You're there to be a
Mm-hmm.
dentist. You got in, you went to dentistry, but then you said that
Yeah.
before you finished that you had a question. Tell me a little bit more about that moment.
Well, as a physician, you understand the training is grueling. You're studying, you're doing your board exams, you're doing everything you have to do. You're making your sacrifices, and everybody's on that same path. Everybody's losing sleep. Everybody's tired. So how do you really compare what's abnormal? Like how tired is too tired? You know what I mean? And that's something that I had to figure out and allow myself to rest. Whereas I used to just push past everything. I didn't know what too tired was because I was always too tired. Because if I really rested when I wanted to rest, I wouldn't get anything done at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So that is something that I still find to be a challenge. Like, when is too tired, too tired? Like, when do I need to sit down? So now I just schedule it in my life and I make sure I take breaks. I make sure I take my admin days. I make sure after work I don't try to push myself too hard. I schedule my workout days and it cannot be every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've found that mentally I don't like to say I have limitations, but I like to put a limit on what I do per day to conserve my energy so that I can make the most out of every day.
That makes
And
100% sense.
that's how I approach it so that it's not like a sad, like, why did this happen to me? It's more like I get to choose how to spend my energy. I get to choose how to enjoy my life. And
Yeah.
it's a blessing.
Yeah, I love that. So when was it in dental school? Like, is it your third year, your fourth year? But like,
So I
was there a
didn't,
one big moment that kind of happened for you that you knew things were off, or just kind of like a
I
slow
didn't.
burn?
It was a slow burn. I graduated dental school. I started working. Everything was fine. When the pandemic hit in 2020, I was well into my career. I scaled back a little bit just because of the nature of what was going on at the time and the PPE shortages and everything like that. I wasn't an emergency healthcare worker, so they cut down my hours. I was in a private clinic, but I was still so exhausted. But then thinking about that time It was a sad time. A lot of people were suffering, a lot of people were dying. We weren't really socializing in a way that was healthy anymore. So again, very easy to write off fatigue as just a sign of the times. And then in 2023, right at the beginning of that year, is when I got really sick and it turned into an emergency. And
Mm-hmm.
I would describe it as it was almost like I had food poisoning. I just got real sick one day and started throwing up and sweating, and it just didn't stop. It
Hmm.
literally just didn't stop. I sweat through my clothes, took a shower, sweat through all the towels, sweat through everything, just kept vomiting, kept vomiting, kept vomiting, getting dizzy. Eventually called 911. The paramedics arrived. When they took my vitals, they were like, you must be an athlete. Your pulse is really low. And it was like in the 40s. I'm like, I'm not some Olympic. I used to be a runner. Like, I'm like, no, I'm well into my 30s. I'm not that kind of athlete. Like, I go for walks. And during that time, like for the previous 6 months, I was even having trouble doing my yoga, walking my dog routine. I was so tired. And these paramedics were like, wow, you must be an athlete because I looked really fit. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I don't, my pulse isn't supposed to be in the 40s. And then it tanked even lower and it was in the 30s. And so I had my first ambulance ride. And when I got to the hospital, I didn't leave for about a week,
Hmm.
but I left with some new hardware to keep everything regulated. But that's kind of the short story of how all of a sudden, when I got home after that experience, mentally it was validating. It
Mm-hmm.
was actually extremely validating because I was like, you know what? I wasn't crazy. This has been extremely difficult. I've been told to suck it up for decades. And I'm like, oh, this is why everything was so hard for me all this time. Even though things were physically difficult, like academically, I excelled in my career, no problems, everything was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just so drained. And I was like, that's why I feel like I don't have the energy to really build the life that I would want. So that was extremely validating for me. And then to move past that and really embrace the gift that I was given did require me joining a support group. I love my support group. It's on Facebook. It's called Women with Pacemakers. Hey, ladies, I love them. And we just kind of share the ups and downs because it's a blessing, but sometimes you feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like
No, I don't. I was
sometimes,
going to ask you, can you share more about that? Why do you feel bad about that? That's not something that you went off and did. It's not like you were a huge cokehead and you just burnt your heart
right,
out, or you know what
right,
I'm saying? I know people have different struggles, but it's not like this is something that you did to yourself in order
right.
for this to have happened to you. You've been
It's
somebody that
more
does yoga, walks your dog, does all the things.
It's more that mindset shift. And the other change of my mindset is I used to have a very linear checklist, perfectionist type of mindset. So feeling like, okay, I was an athlete, I was doing everything I was supposed to do, I was eating healthy. I love lifestyle medicine. I'm a part of the American Academy of Lifestyle Medicine. I
Mm-hmm.
read all this stuff, I take the courses. I'm like, I'm integrating this into my life. And I'm very big on my faith as well. I believe in God, but there was still something in me that felt like I was supposed to be able to control what was going on.
Hmm.
And that was a huge shift in my mindset when at first, when I had my surgery and I felt bad about myself, I had to realize that I needed to strengthen my faith in God because that is not quite aligned with the gift that I was given. And I
Hmm.
had to really lean into gratitude to be able to understand like, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to need help and support. It's okay to ask for support and lean into that love that you have around you in order to embody love through your life. So that was really the mindset shift. I don't feel bad about it anymore, but I'll tell
Hmm.
you, when my whole family flew down here, people were missing work. My nieces and nephews were missing school. Everybody
Hmm.
was here helping me. My mom was washing my hair. There was
Hmm.
something in me that, even though I was deeply, deeply, deeply grateful, I felt bad for disrupting everyone's life during that time and stressing everybody out.
Hmm.
That was part of that experience. But now when I look back at it, I just feel a very profound gratitude for
Mm-hmm.
the amount of support and love that I had during that time,
Mm-hmm.
so that I could find the strength to start driving again, start
Mm.
walking by myself places again. Because I had a deep fear that was like, what if this pacemaker stops working and I just pass out and there's nobody
Mm.
around? And it was very scary to start to do things by myself and trust not in the device itself, but trust in God that I was alive for a reason and it
Yeah.
wasn't going to end in some bizarre tragedy,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had to get over that fear, or not get over, but work through that fear and
Mm-hmm.
recognize what the purpose of the fear was. And it's to push past and really be able to spread love. And for me, that means all those ways that we can find wellness in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and spread
Mm-hmm.
it to other people.
That's incredible. What does your self-trust look like right now? Because what you were just saying reminded me of, like, yes, you have your faith in God. Yes, you have some level of faith in the medical system and the device that's in your chest. But at the end of the day, you have yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and have to go about your day. So how did that change your self-trust?
I love that question. And trust is a complicated concept for me. And in a way, it's like I don't trust myself, and I don't think physically I should have deep trust in my own body, because one of the main things that runs my whole body, failed. The pacemaker cells in my heart do not function. So if I were to only trust in my abilities and my physical body, I think that would be a misstep. But in a way, I do have a deep trust in myself. I have a deep trust in my inner knowing. I have a deep trust in my faith, of course. And then also, when I put my mind to something and I say I'm going to do something, I know I can trust myself to do it. I know I can
Yeah.
trust myself to accomplish and perform. And on the other hand, I know I don't have to perform to be able to find that peace within myself. So it's kind of like an and or situation to
Mm-hmm.
answer that question. I don't trust my body.
And I trust my body. Yeah.
I don't trust my heart, but I trust my heart
Mm-hmm.
metaphorically, if you know what I mean.
I do exactly
Okay.
know what you're saying. No,
Yeah,
that makes a
yeah.
lot of sense. And I'm glad that you said that, because that is the reality, is like, from a scientific medical standpoint, your pacemaker cells, like you said, do not function appropriately. That's why you have an external pacer to help you with that. But I love the fact that you still know that there are parts of you inside. And of course, your metaphorical, spiritual, emotional being that is your heart is still
Right,
very trustworthy as well too. So I
right.
absolutely love that. Okay, so tell me, from that standpoint, okay, now you're feeling better, you got this pacemaker in, you're trusting yourself again, you're building and practicing courage every day, because like you said, you're not afraid, you're just working through it and you're just deciding to show up every day. So tell me how that then brought you on the entrepreneurial journey, because you were trying to go back to yourself, which,
Mhm.
as a
Mhm.
new mom, there is
It's
no
an
going back.
right.
That's just long gone. That shit is
Right.
long gone. So
And
what happened then?
I appreciate and I love my old self, but she was doing something different. She was on, one path, interested in creativity, but not really fully diving in. So I started my blog in 2020, and it was definitely a hobby, a place to put like my favorite recipes, things I'm doing to try to live a healthy life.
Mhm.
And remember, at that time, I was deeply exhausted. So I was really searching for things that I could do and share to help me feel better. And then after I got home from the hospital in 2023, I was like, there's more to this than just a hobby. There's a way to change this hobby and create a true wellness hub. And
Mhm.
that wellness isn't just one thing. So that's why I really appreciate that whole concept of lifestyle medicine, because it breaks it down scientifically into these 6 pillars.
Mhm.
And one of the pillars is stress reduction. And that's really important to me. And it kind of hits on pretty much every single aspect of our lives. But on the business side, the financial wellness and the stress reduction in our careers is extremely important. So
Mhm.
that's the part that I've been able to turn into a functioning business. And I still have all the things that are fun for me. And I love publishing my recipes and taking food photography, and all my hobbies and all my side things are still on the blog. But when I talk to groups of doctors or groups of dentists, I really kind of point them towards a few key products that can help them reduce their stress and live a more financially abundant life and really embrace wellness in that kind of financial metrics. So for me, that's important to share because there are certain things I did not have in place in 2023. I did not
Hmm.
have that long term disability insurance. I had a short term policy, and it was nowhere near what a dentist makes. Like if I can't move my arm,
Can't work.
I'm gonna get paid. And then I had to figure out, like, is it even safe for me to be around the equipment in the dental office? I had to figure out which equipment I could use and what I
Hmm.
couldn't use because of the proximity to my pacemaker. There were all sorts of things that were so scary. And so basically, the business arm of my blog expands on that and offers resources to things I wish I had or things I wish I knew about early.
So, how did you get into the financial side? Was it because you then were out for this extended period of time? You may have had the financial crisis, and it's like, I should have had all of these things, and these
Mm-hmm.
other people that are in healthcare need to know these things as well too. Was that
Yep.
how it all came about?
Yeah, that's basically it. Like, I eventually was able to get back to work and things were okay. But I feel that I did rush myself in going
Hmm.
back to clinical practice. I wish I took maybe 6 more months or so. But
Hmm.
I feel like it was good for me mentally to push myself. I was able to get back in there, and I love treating patients. So it was good for me at the same time. But it did make me really think about diversifying my income
Hmm.
because I have my one professional skill set that I love. But again, even if it wasn't as serious as what happened, even if I just tripped and sprained my wrist, I'd be out. I'd be out of the game.
Right.
And then what? And then what, you know? So
Yeah.
that's when I really thought about taking my hobby blog and starting to monetize it. So I actually just started with Amazon Associates and started making affiliate links to my favorite products and recommending those to my patients because they're always asking me questions about, what
That's so
product should I
smart.
use, things like that. So I like to refer people to things. People ask me questions all the time. So that's kind of where I built out that oral health optimization part of my blog. And so I love funneling people towards that resource. And then, with my cooking and things like that, I started funneling people towards, this is what I learned when I took this course, or I'm cooking this. Like, what do you think? Is this something you would try with your family? Things like that. And then I started to learn more about these different financial products and things that can help you as you build a business. So for me, before this whole experience, I felt like if you ever needed a lawyer or anything like that, you had to ask your friends for a referral to somebody. You'd have to call them. You had to
Yep.
spend like $300 to talk on the phone for like 30 minutes. And then the
Right.
next time you need something, you got to spend another $300. And then if you need a form, it's like $900. So like, oh my
Right.
God. So then
Exactly.
eventually one of my friends invited me to join her at this presentation for a group called Legal Shield. And then I
Hmm.
learned about how they help people with accessing legal services for either personal issues or professional issues through an app. So then
Mm.
I got on board with that. And now I can refer people to that. Similar to that model of Amazon Associates, if somebody's asking me a question and they're like, oh, like, what's the best thing for sensitive teeth? Or what do you use for this or that? If
Hmm.
someone's like, I have this legal issue and I really need a lawyer to write me a letter or make a call, but I'm on a budget, I'm like, let me hook you up. Let me send you this link. You can download a package. You can basically sign up for either a simple plan or a preferred plan or a small business plan. And then you download this app and you pay a subscription fee. It's like less than $50 a month. And you
Mm-hmm.
have unlimited consults with a lawyer. You can get documents reviewed. You can get your contracts
Hmm.
reviewed. You don't have to sign contracts you don't understand. Also, that's my biggest pet peeve with dentists. Dentists
Hmm.
that don't own their practices will literally sign anything. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? People
Yeah.
will they won't even read their contracts.
Yeah.
They'll just sign their life away. And I'm just like,
And they won't
that's
even negotiate
crazy.
anything. They're just
They
like, oh,
don't
okay, this is what they're
negotiate.
offering me.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So that's
Yeah.
really the thing that I love recommending Legal Shields for, because you don't
Okay.
have to spend thousands of dollars. You can take your contract PDF and upload it to this app and have a lawyer review it and then have a phone call and they'll like help you figure out how to negotiate and stuff.
I
It's
love
so
that.
cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
And this
Yeah.
is a Black owned app, correct?
I
Or no?
don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe it's Black owned, but there are a lot of Black associates, which is why I felt comfortable in the meeting. But, I'm in Houston, so I think the demographics change based on the demographics of your area,
Okay. Okay.
because it's nationwide, basically. And that's
That
the
makes
other thing I
sense.
like about it, because, a lot of times I'm meeting people like you online. We don't live in the same place, but, sometimes I'm chatting with people and they need resources. And I love that I was able to combine all these different resources, even though they don't seem related. When I
Mm-hmm.
think about lifestyle medicine and the stress reduction and, getting restful sleep, eating healthy, getting exercise, like all these other problems, legal problems, financial issues, disability issues, they can all kind of converge into my little online collage of things that I like.
And that makes sense. I mean, when you first think about it, it's like, no, it does seem to be very disconnected. But
Mhm.
now that you said that, it's all a type of stress because I think
Mhm.
we just think about, my God, just life. But then we don't break it down, like you said, into legally, especially as high achievers, high earners. We are
Mhm.
always like looking around the corner waiting to be sued, unfortunately, especially here
Mhm.
in America. And like you said, financially, those are some of the biggest stresses because we have an extraordinarily amount of student loan debt. Yes, we do have the salaries that can support that, but that's still, a lot of us come from families where we don't know how to manage our funds, or
Or
we're
you
the
might be
highest
taking
earner,
care of your family.
or taking care of our family, or we're the highest earner that it's been for quite some time. So it's just like some people have different understandings about what stress is, but I love the fact that you even considered it from a legal standpoint and a financial standpoint, especially for us doctors and dentists, and I'll say other
Mhm.
healthcare providers in there. I love that.
Because when you think about it, we all know about malpractice insurance, and that's a given. But then what about every single other thing that goes on in your life that you would need a lawyer for? Like
Right.
your malpractice insurance does not extend beyond the walls of the hospital or the clinic or the work that you're doing clinically.
Yeah.
And I feel like healthcare workers in general deserve more resources and more support. And that's why I really focus on the legal and then also disability insurance and
Mhm.
identity protection as well.
I like that. I like that as well. I'm going to ask you another question, and this is probably going to be a little strange, but I just feel led to ask you this. Do
Uh-huh.
you feel like you're walking in your purpose now? Like,
I do.
are you fulfilling and walking in your purpose? And I guess why? Why do you feel like that?
I love that question so much. Thanks for asking.
Mhm.
I do feel like that now. So for me, I feel like my purpose is very spiritual. It's to embody the love of God and to bring that here on earth.
Mhm.
Not to be like, it's kind of like that concept of like bringing heaven to earth. Like life is rough. Things are difficult. Bad things are happening all the time. But like in my home or when I go to work or when I interact with people, I want to be channeling love and bless you and spreading that. And that's very, very important to me. So it's hard to kind of, how do I explain this? I think like through my writing on my blog, through the things that I recommend to people, I'm very selective through the partnerships that I make with my clients and people who I partner with on my website to provide services or products. I have to have that part aligned. I have to know the intention is to provide value and not
Mhm.
just to make money. So if the intention is aligned and the value that's provided is substantial and can actually, help people and help communities, then the money will come from that. Like the abundance will come from that.
Mhm.
So I do feel like I'm serving my purpose and living a life of service without completely depleting myself, you
Of
know?
course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess related to that then, I think a lot of us that feel like that we are walking in our purpose sometimes maybe feel bad. I'll just say bad because that's a general feeling, but
Mm,
or bad about then going ahead and monetizing that. So, like you said, your blog, it was kind of like your place where you were just kind of sharing and making yourself feel better. But then you realized that you wanted to kind of turn it into a bigger thing and you started reaching out with partnerships. You started at the Amazon. I know what you're saying. Like it's like the list and you can refer people and people you'll basically get a
mhm.
cut from when you
Yeah,
when
basically
they
affiliate
purchase something.
marketing.
Affiliate, thank you. I was like, I can't
Mhm.
think of the word.
And
It's
that's how I
affiliate.
do all my partnerships. Just I like to affiliate with things that can be helpful to people.
My question to you is that now that you have something that you feel like you're doing that is really fulfilling your purpose and you're fulfilling your purpose through that, how did you bridge the gap in your mind in order to start monetizing that? Because I've worked with tons of doctors and even when I still coach with doctors when they're starting their own business that we have a lot of mindset issues about charging for what we're doing. We want to give everything away for free or we want to super discount it instead of really looking at how powerful our work is and making sure that we get paid accordingly to the amazing genius that we're putting out there. So how did you, like I said, in your business kind of get through that? Are you still working through that? What's
I
happening?
definitely focus on value, like the value that I'm providing. And if I know I'm putting out things that are aligned with my purpose and that are valuable to others, I have absolutely no problem with monetizing. And I think that came from my training in school because my degree is a doctor of dental surgery. Like I do
Mm,
procedures all day every day. Like it's a procedure based profession. Sometimes I'll do consults. Of course, I do examinations and things like that. And there are times when patients come in for an exam and that's all they're doing that day. And depending on the patient's personality, they may say something along the lines of, "Oh, you're not going to do anything today." But I have absolutely no problem letting them know, like, I actually did a lot for you just now. We went through a full exam.
mhm,
I went through your radiographic images. We did some diagnostics. I did some patient education. We made a treatment plan. And now it's up to you to review the treatment plan, review the costs with the treatment coordinator, and get back to me with what you would like to do next. Like, I have absolutely no problem with valuing the services that I can provide in that sense. So when I
mhm.
look at the blog, even though it's more of a creative endeavor, I don't have an issue seeing it as valuable, although I do see other people might have it see that as a challenge. And I do work with a lot of partners. So one of my partners that I work with is a naturopathic doctor and she makes
Mm,
meal plans and does all kinds of stuff. And I help her sell those on my website as well because we're partnered and it aligns with the vision of wellness and all these things. And in some conversations, it's hard because it's marketing. Like you create something
yeah.
that is artistic in a way, but also valuable. And even if it wasn't something someone was going to use, like let's just take the example of a painting. Like you create a piece of art. Who is to tell you it has no value? If
Right.
someone tells you it has no value, it's not meant for that person. They're not the intended recipient of that vision. So that's how I view what I make. Thank you. That's how I view the things that I make and my digital products and the writing and the things that I share and the photography that I do. I
Mhm.
know it has value because there was a reason the vision came to me to create it. And
Yeah.
so if I share it and someone else doesn't see that value, it doesn't mean it's not valuable. Like it's a bigger metaphor for life. Like if someone if someone sees me and sees me as not valuable, that doesn't mean that I'm not valuable.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's that mental connect. And since I feel like my blog and my website and my business is part of me, I kind of put that same mindset into the whole thing. Like I can't really separate one thing from the other because it's all coming from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like it's almost like how dare I not value myself? You know? That's how I feel about it. It's kind of like a self-respect thing. Although I do give things away for free sometimes, but like most of the time, no.
Absolutely. No, I'm so glad that you said that because that is like the way that I think I've had to go about rewiring my own money mindset is that I feel like for physicians more specifically, I know it's different than dentists because a lot of you come out and you're very entrepreneur. You guys start your own dental practices and
Hmm.
all of those things. And I almost, even though clearly I'm not a dentist, I think that they teach you how to do that in dental school, or
They
at
don't.
least they don't.
So
Okay.
like a lot of these dentists that are starting their own businesses, true entrepreneurs.
Okay. Like no training. I just know how to do this skill, but I don't
Or they
have
learn
the
it, or they
business
build a
background.
team, they figure it out, or they have some business acumen, or they have people around them and they figure it out. Yeah, dental school is not business school. You learn how
Interesting.
to do the clinical diagnostics procedures, you know, like the things you learn in medical
Right.
school,
You're
like
supposed to learn how to
how
do.
to treat a
Yeah.
patient, but they're not going to teach you how to scale a business. No
And I
way.
think that that's on purpose
Yeah.
because like we've said, like I was about to say, it's just like I feel like we've been intentionally detached from the value that we bring every day. Just like your patient example that, you know, they came in for an exam and they're like, that's it. And it's like, well, sir, or well, ma'am, like the time that it took me to do this in 15,
Mhm.
20 minutes or however long it is, it took me years of
Mhm.
understanding what to do, how to do it, why I'm doing it, what the problem is, the diagnosis,
Yeah.
the pathophysiology. There's so much value that I'm giving to you in a bite-sized portion that I know that now it's just natural to me because this is what I've been trained to do. And so it can be easy to devalue that. But I think once you look at it like that, and also when you realize that the system in and of itself has like intentionally detached us from that, from how much I bill when I walk in the emergency department and I order like the EKG for a
Mhm.
patient
Mhm.
or put you on the monitor or start medications. Yeah, that's millions and millions of dollars worth of value that I'm just pouring into patients every single day, but we don't look at it because we've been told money is bad and oh, I don't know how much it costs. Like that, talk to your insurance, talk to this person, talk to that
Mhm.
person. And I love the fact that you said that you had to internalize, like, you know what? No, I bring value. This is valuable. Like that's what you're
Mhm.
coming to me for. So just because you don't see it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true. It's just not true for
Right.
you, but it's still true for
Right.
me.
Right.
And that's incredible. I love the way that you phrase that. That makes so much sense. So much sense.
Yeah, because I just feel like there's like a deep cognitive dissonance in healthcare in general. Because we're in this capitalist society that at the same time elevates the individual and devalues the individual at the same time.
Yes.
It's very strange, and it depends on who the individual is and what circumstance you're in and all these things.
Yeah.
And so I just I just had to kind of I don't feel part of a system. I don't feel like I'm part of any sort of system. I do what I do. I love practicing clinically. And I also love the days that I'm not in clinic. And
Hmm.
that's how I want it to be so that I could just love my life. I don't want to be in some situation where I'm like, I don't want to be here, no matter where
Yeah.
it is, you know? So if I'm in clinic, I want to be loving it. And I am in a
Yeah.
place where I'm loving it. And then same thing when I'm at home, I could either be not doing anything, or I could be working on my website, or I could be having a call with a client, or I could be, you know, making a digital product, or just thinking about what blog I want to write next.
I
So
love that.
that's really I really had to unplug from the system in a way, and it's very
Hmm.
ironic because unplugging from the system is really plugging back into this whole digital world and learning all these new online skills,
Yeah.
figuring out how to build a website, figuring out all these AI tools. Like I'm
Making
unplugged,
digital
but kind of,
products.
yeah, I'm on the
Yes.
side. I'm plugged back in on the side, but
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk to the person out there that's listening who is wanting to do something. Maybe when I say do something, it sounds so broad, but what they want to start their own side hustle, they want to start their own business. Maybe they don't even
Yeah.
know exactly what it is. If you could give that person some advice of like, okay, if you know you want to start a side hustle or you know you want to monetize something in your life, what would you tell them to do?
You need a community. You shouldn't do it by yourself. That's the main thing. For me, my community is pretty broad. I have some entrepreneurs in my family. My brothers and sisters are part of my community. Some of my partners that I work with, some of my friends. But I've also started an online community since I'm plugged into this digital space and learning all these tools. So I started an online community called Itaji Founders Circle. It's on school.com and it's a free group. And basically, I don't want to say I hate social media because I don't. It has a purpose and it's very nice. But when I log into certain social media platforms, it's hard to connect to any kind of substance or truly connect with anybody. So this is a smaller group. You do have to answer some questions to be let into the group, just to know like what stage of your venture you're in and what is it you're doing and
Okay.
what are you trying to get out of the group. And basically, it's like a mastermind group. So we take turns kind of talking about our wins. I have this thing on Wednesdays called Tea Time where we just log in and chat a little bit and see how things are going. I have co working times on Saturdays, typically around 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., just to log in if you're working on something. And if you're like me and you're at home and you're cozy and you get distracted, you might need a couple people on a Zoom call sitting there also
Right.
working
Holding you
on
accountable.
something
Yes.
so that you can make some coffee and go ahead and sit down and fill out whatever forms you were supposed to fill out 4 days ago. So that's what the Founders Circle is. And I'm hoping as it grows, it's going to turn into a true mastermind group where we can be pushing each other and really making presentations on, okay, these are the 3 steps that I want to take in Q2 and kind of reviewing with the group, or hey, these are the AI tools that I'm using to help facilitate these automations in my business. What are you using? How much does that cost? Oh, is this cheaper? Do you have a virtual assistant? I want to create that kind of community, mostly for people in the healthcare and wellness space, because that's where I'm at. But I like to diversify. So I've actually started working with someone who teaches Yoruba language. That's my tribe. And so she's teaching this group of kids and I'm in the class with the kids. It's lovely. I love it so much.
I need to be in the class with these kids.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link.
Yeah,
I'll
I
send
need
you
to
the
be in this
link.
class.
Yeah. So it's really cool. At first, when I met her, I was like, does this align with my vision? But it does, because I keep coming back to lifestyle medicine. And one of those pillars is that social connectedness.
Yeah.
And socially, how connected can you be to your culture if you don't really speak the language?
Right.
So then I was like, this is part of that cultural wellness. This is part of forming a community. And, sure, you might not be starting like an aesthetics injector practice, but we can all learn from each other because we all need to send these automated emails to our email list.
There's still a foundational, just basics of just running the business. I absolutely love that. And I'm so glad that we have talked today because I literally am looking for a Yoruba teacher.
Really?
I'm looking for a Yoruba teacher.
Join. We usually have class Sundays at, 6 or 7 p.m.?
Okay, cool.
It's nice.
I'm offline when I hit the stop button. I will definitely get that information from you. That's so
same
funny
website. Literally, I have one
website,
domain name.
It's just everything.
Everything. I just dumped literally everything. I almost started another website, and I was like, my brain doesn't work like that. It all needs to be on one domain name.
I understand. Yeah. No, I get that 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that leads me almost to the end. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience today? Thank you so much. This conversation has been absolutely wonderful. Anything else that you want to share? Any other thoughts that you have? Anything that's upcoming for you?
Well, the main thought and the main reason I wanted to talk to you today is to talk about gratitude and how, like, that foundation of gratitude has really been able to be a foundation where I can feel confident. Like, despite all these challenges and physical challenges, and, like, I got the surgery, I have the pacemaker, but I still have to see an electrophysiologist. I got to do
Hmm.
cardiac stress tests sometimes.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm at work and I'm like, my arm hurts. But there's something that I have to do mentally daily, literally
Hmm.
daily, to not go down like a negative spiral. And that
Hmm.
thing is practicing gratitude literally with every breath, whether it's a good day or a bad day, whether I'm making
Hmm.
money in the business or I'm just spending money, whether I get that little ding from my inbox with Wix, like, oh, you got an order. Or if I
Hmm.
don't get anything in my inbox for like a week and I'm like, no one's buying anything, no matter
Hmm.
what, I'm grateful because I know I'm living in my purpose. I know I'm spreading positivity, and that's what it's all about for me.
Hmm.
And then in terms of what was the other part, what I want to share or what
Yeah,
I
but you know what? I was gonna say, what do you want to share? But I was gonna ask you, and I'm glad you brought this up again because I was thinking about it before, and then it escaped my mind. So, if you were to help someone to start like their own gratitude practice, what do you do? Because I've heard start a gratitude journal and just write down everything, or just
it's
write down one thing
hard.
a day, and that connects with people sometimes, and sometimes that doesn't. But I guess how would you recommend someone start with a gratitude practice?
Hmm. For me it's prayer in the
Hmm.
mornings. So not reaching for my cell phone first thing. I tried not to look at my cell phone too much unless there's a reason for it.
Yeah,
So
same.
a little bit of quiet time prayer, maybe a devotional book. I have a devotional book that my mom gave me that is really
Hmm.
nice, short little paragraphs that's easy to just read and think about. And then I have another journal that I really, really like, this guided journal on Stoicism. It's like a
Hmm.
philosophy book, sort of, that guides you through. I think it's actually right here. This is what I would recommend. Go buy this.
The
Ryan
Daily
Holiday, The
Stoic
Daily
Journal.
Stoic Journal. It has a
Okay.
prompt for the morning and the evening. My brother recommended it to me after
Hmm.
I had
Okay.
surgery because during that time I was very, emotional, like kind of weepy. It's just very important to get control of your emotions if you have an arrhythmia, because just like that process of crying, if you're not taking deep breaths, you're like, deoxygenating yourself, and then you're making your arrhythmia worse. And then you get nervous because your heart feels weird. And I really just had to get it together.
I mean, in so many words, yeah, you just have to get
I
this
talked to
get
my
it
big brother
together.
the other day and he's like, I'm proud of you. I'm like, thanks. I'm proud of me too. But I really needed to get it together. This is my second year going through this particular journal, and it's
Hmm.
very, very helpful. You don't have to be, you know, some philosopher. You don't have to practice any particular type of religion for it to make sense. But for me, it really aligns with the Bible for me. But that's because that's my perspective. But I
Yeah,
would imagine anyone who reads it would read it from their perspective and find value in that.
I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You're
Um,
welcome.
that's yeah, that's great because most people are just like, or the things that I feel like that have been said the most about gratitude on social media is just like, just write down in a journal every single day one thing that you're grateful for, which I know can be powerful and is powerful a lot clearly for
Hmm.
a lot of people, but sometimes people need something else. Like they're just not able to attach to that because
Right.
for whatever reason they learn differently or they practice things differently. So
Hmm.
the Daily Stoic Journal.
The Daily Stoic Journal. I think there's also another book. There's like a regular book. I think it
Hmm.
comes in a box set, but I just bought the journal.
Okay.
I haven't read the regular book yet. And
Okay.
then for
Okay.
people who might not love books as much as I do, I love books. Like, I'm always reading something. But if you're on your own and you're not getting that kind of support from the people around you, I would recommend finding some sort of group or support group, or just something that like brings you joy, like a hobby, or get a pet. Like, I have a dog. I'm obsessed with my dog. She's about to be 13 years old. I love my dog. But sometimes I just look at her and I'm just like, "Oh, you're so happy."
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
very simple things, like just looking around your life and just appreciating what's there and what's nice about it.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's one way that I personally practice gratitude, because we were saying earlier how I was kind of going through postpartum depression, but there were some times that I was just like, even in my sadness, I'm just like, I have a roof over my head.
Yep.
I've got a healthy child. I've got a partner who loves the hell out of his daughter and is helping and doing. I have a job. I have a degree. I have my
Amen.
mind. Like sometimes it has to
Amen.
be like, I got underwear, clean underwear to put on today. I got on a clean, pumping bra. Like it's not
Mhm.
falling apart. Like I had to find the littlest things and not necessarily say it out loud or write it down, but I had to say it to myself over
Right,
and
and
over, like, and
internalize it.
just and internalize it and making sure that my self-talk was improving as
Yeah.
well too. So I'm glad that you are saying these things. This is super
Mhm.
reinforcing and super helpful. Super helpful.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, that's beyond an affirmation. When you say something and you really believe it, like, you're not just saying things to say them. You're not just saying, "Oh, I love my life," or, "Oh, this is great," or, "I'm grateful it's sunny today," or, like, you're really internalizing something that is truly meaningful for you, and for me, that's, like, distinguishing the difference between, say, like, happiness and joy.
Mm,
Like, I'm really trying to find that joy, like something sustainable that's not just dependent on what's happening at this particular moment or the other, and I think that may have been my biggest mindset shift, whereas before my heart event and my emergency and all that,
mhm.
maybe I was looking for happiness. Maybe I was looking for something that was a little more fleeting. But now I'm really focused on joy and a joyful existence and helping create that for other people.
That feels a lot more grounding, a lot more solid, a lot more long term. I never
Yeah, a
thought
little
about
more
those two things.
mature. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody wants to be happy, but who actually wants to have joy? Like nobody is talking about being joyful unless you're a Christian.
Right. Right. There's some songs about it.
There's a lot of songs about being joyful. Yes.
Yeah. So it's my focus. The joy of the Lord is your strength.
Is your strength. Yes. But even now that you say that, that is actually giving me a different perspective, maybe in that scripture, because that is long, like you said, long term
Yeah.
enduring,
Right. No matter
no
what's
matter
going
what
on.
happens. It could be cloudy outside and a tornado might just blow down my house, but do I still have joy? Am I still rooted deeply in joy?
Right.
That's a word.
Amen.
Somebody should preach that. Not me, but somebody should preach that. Anything else you want to share, Dr. Ed? I don't even want to stop talking to you. This is
Oh, we
great.
should talk
Anything else?
more.
Yes, we
We should,
should.
yeah, we should talk more. No, I mean, that's really it. I guess if people are more curious about the things I think about, I write a lot. So I have blog posts about, the things I'm thinking about. Sometimes it's not heavy at all. The blog I'm working on now, I think I'm going to title it Dinner Parties for Morning People. And I think I'm going to talk about maybe like a brunch party or like a book club party or a coffee bar party. I don't know, something cute, and take some
I'm
pictures
always
and
down
talk
for it.
about that. Yeah, just sometimes I just like to do things that are cute and just enjoy my life.
Well, awesome. Dr. Adeola Abisogun. Am I saying that right? I don't feel like I did.
Adeola.
Adeola.
You'll learn in Yoruba class.
Thanks.
The E sounds like an A,
Okay.
and so it's Adeola. And my
Adeola.
last
Okay.
name is Abisogun. The
Abisogun.
I sounds like E.
E. Okay.
That's lesson
Abisogun.
number 1. Our vowels.
Are different.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
No,
You're
thank
amazing.
you for gracing us with your energy and your presence. If you're listening or watching this podcast, all of her links, if so, you can check out her blog and all of the amazing stuff that she's got going on will be listed in the show notes. But thank you again for joining me for another episode of the Docs Get Money podcast.
Let's talk soon. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Docs Get Money podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Docs Get Money podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know more, Visit me, Dr. Kimberly Brown, at KimberlyBrownMD.com, and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram. And until next time, let's go get this money, honey.